Last week I said I think Star Wars Resistance is at its best when the First Order is involved. I still do think that's true, but I had forgotten how much I enjoy the racing aspect of the show because we haven't really seen a race in full since the very first episode. The platform classic brought it back, and even though it didn't push the main plot ahead, it was exciting, fun, and provided some much-needed backstory for Yeager, who I still consider to be the most captivating character in the show. Captain Doza asks Yeager to come out of retirement to race in the biggest event of the year for the Colossus, the Platform Classic. He declines even after he learns that his brother, famed racer Marcus Speedstar, will also be competing. The name Speedstar is such a Star Wars name, and I love that Jarek laughs about it as if it's any more ridiculous than Skywalker. Anyway, Kaz and Tam push on Yeager's ego a little bit, and he does agree to challenge his younger brother, expecting him to back down, so they head to Aunt Z's. There, Marcus has a run-in with the Guavian Death Gang, who he apparently owes 20,000 credits. They take his mechanic Oplok hostage until he pays them back. Yeager arrives to challenge him, and now Marcus can't back down, which surprises Jarek, and now they're both locked into the race. I like that Aunt Z's rule about not backing out of races came back into play, and I really like that Kaz got to be the one to smugly remind him. In frustration, Yeager offers Kaz as a replacement mechanic for Marcus, which is kind of a hilarious and subtle way to sabotage the competition. It just felt like an annoying, brotherly thing to do. The question that has driven the episode up to this point is, what did Marcus do to make Jarek so angry at him? And this is where we start to get some answers. Marcus claims he used hyperfuel in a race because he so badly wanted to beat his older brother. The second he mentioned that, I thought back to the episode Fuel for the Fire, where it's firmly established how dangerous that is. Marcus's recklessness caused both Yeager brothers to crash, and while we don't get the full story, we know Marcus is at least remorseful. Meanwhile, Jarek works on his own racer, another callback from Fuel to the Fire, where we first learned he had a ship and a successful racing career. When Kaz returns, he urges forgiveness and asks him to help for Oplok's sake, but Yeager again refuses. Then we get to the Platform Classic, and I was immediately reminded of how much I enjoyed the race from the first episode. The animation is tight and it feels fast and dangerous. I liked that this race had 3 phases, with spinning rings, a race to the edge of the atmosphere where the ship's engines are cut out, and then a plummeting phase where they have to glide into a ring to restart. But kinda like the lightsaber fights in the movies, the classic is more about the characters. Things are tense in the race because there is tension between Jarek and Marcus, and near the end we learn the truth. The crash Marcus caused resulted in the deaths of Jarek's wife and child. All of a sudden Yeager's anger makes a lot more sense, but Marcus insists that he is sorry for the loss of Jarek's family, and reminds him that Oplok's life is dependent on the outcome of the race. The apology seems to be enough to make Yeager pull away, and Marcus wins, earning him enough credits to save his friend. The two brothers part ways on better terms, and Jarek thanks Kaz for encouraging him towards forgiveness. If this were a Clone Wars episode, I think the message at the beginning would have been Yeager's final line. It's important to forgive people. When you don't, nobody wins. Although I guessed that would be the way the episode ended from the start, there were still enough twists and turns to keep me engaged. The revelation of what happened to Jarek's family was a big one, and I'm glad Jarek forgave Marcus, but admitted that things still weren't fully right between them. Something I really enjoyed about the Platform Classic was how much better it made the episode Fuel for the Fire in hindsight. Upon first viewing, I wasn't crazy about that episode because it felt a little fillery, but just like Star Wars Rebels, Resistance works to use those episodes as setup. Thanks to Fuel for the Fire, we know about how reckless it is to use hyperfuel in a racer, we know about Jarek's successful racing career, we know about his secret ship, and we know about his family. All of that comes up in the Platform Classic, and each revelation or character moment is given more weight thanks to an episode I didn't really like the first time around. So yeah, I really liked this episode. I hope racing becomes a more prominent aspect of the series because it's a lot of fun. I might be biased because I love Yeager so much, but I think coming out of racing retirement could foreshadow his future. He's been very reluctant to have anything to do with Kaz's spy life so far, but I expect down the line he will come out of military retirement as well, and will likely join the Resistance and the fight against the First Order. But that's all I have to say about the Platform Classic, so now it's time to throw it over to you guys. What did you think of the episode? Let me know in the comments, and tell me what you think will happen with Yeager down the line. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.